What's good, horror fans? Luke Innes here, going to do another list type thing for you today. I'm going to show you my top 25 video nasties. Now, I shouldn't have to explain what video nasties are. Video nasties are films released on video that were put on trial as obscene in the United Kingdom in the early 80s, before the introduction of legislation that meant that all videos had to go before the Board of Film Classification or Censorship. So yeah, it's the 72 movies that were, had to be defended in court. I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen like 50 or so, I'd say, and I don't own all of them. And some of the ones that I haven't seen are actually real fan favourites. I've never seen The Burn-In. And everyone goes on about how much they love The Burn-In. Let's get on with it. I'll show you the 25 favourites of mine from the DPP 72. Let's get on with it. Okay, so let's get down with it, ladies and gentlemen, straight away with my number 25. And this is the only So Bad It's Good movie on this list. I originally had Cannibal Ferox in its place at number 25, but I decided to shift that one out. So there's no Cannibal Ferox here. That just missed out. That's my honourable mention. And my So Bad It's Good movie, which I decided to put right at the bottom, is Bloody Moon. Jess Franco movie, hilarious slasher movie, very funny, bad special effects, bad dialogue, very stupid. You should definitely see it though, because it's highly entertaining for such a bad movie. Bloody Moon at number 25. At number 24, Mountain of the Cannibal God with Ursula Andress and Stacy Keach. This is definitely an interesting one. A good example of the cannibal movie. Just a sort of jungle adventure type movie, really. There is some animal violence, but that's kind of par for the course in these films. So I mean, if you don't like that, then avoid. But it's not the worst animal cruelty that you'll see on the any of the video nasties, but it's definitely a bit grim. Overall I would recommend Mountain of the Cannibal God. That's my number 24. Number 23, The Bogeyman. This is directed by a guy called Uli Lommel. This is a supernatural slasher type movie. It's somewhere between The Exorcist and Halloween. Really, this movie's mostly on my list because it is a really visually well-made movie. It's, from a story point of view, it's not fantastic. There's a lot of issues with it, but overall I really enjoy watching this movie. It's got some really good creative kills in it, which is quite fun to watch. So yeah, my number 23 is The Bogeyman. Number 22 is Night Train Murders. This is a rape and revenge type movie. This film has been released under multiple names. It was originally known as Last Stop on the Night Train. It was released in the UK as Late Night Trains. It's honestly every title imaginable. This is kind of ripping on the Last House on the Left formula quite heavily. So, that's the kind of thing you should come to expect. Overall, quite an interesting watch. A really well-made film. Actually, a lot better well-made than Last House on the Left. But yeah, like I say, it's still well worth seeing. Definitely check out Night Train Murders. Number 21, House on the Edge of the Park. Maniac and the New York Ripper. A lot of people think they're video nasties, but they're actually not. Of these three movies that are on this triple pack, House on the Edge of the Park is the only one. Maniac and the New York Ripper actually are probably better movies overall than House on the Edge of the Park. I'd say it's the weakest overall, but it's still a reasonably good film. This has obviously got David Hess in it from Last House on the Left. God, we've mentioned that a couple of times already now. And he sort of plays a very similar role. It's a very similar sort of film. Just a sort of rape and revenge type thing. House on the Edge of the Park, I would recommend it. I definitely think it's a movie worth seeing if you're not familiar, and if you want to become a bit more familiar with the genre. So yeah, House on the Edge of the Park is number 21. Alright, so next up at number 20 we have Don't Go in the House. This is a American movie. It mainly it's a kind of a psycho type thing. It revolves around a guy who, when his mum dies, he goes a bit insane, and in his house he's got this big steel-lined room that he tortures people in. He works with what does he do for a living? I think he works at like a furnace or something, and he has a flamethrower, and that's kind of his shtick. Really downbeat film, but some of the effects are really great in it. So yeah, I would recommend Don't Go in the House highly. And number 19, Horrible. This is the Joe D'Amato movie. I hope you can see that all right. It's not coming out great on the camera, but yeah, this you might know as the spiritual sequel to Anthropophagus. This was on the Video Nasties list under the title Absurd, and apparently it's going to be coming out here as Absurd in the coming months. But as I see, I've got the version under the title Horrible. Up until it does come out, if it's happening, this was the only way you could get the film in English. But yeah, this is a really entertaining movie, kind of silly, not quite as grotesque as Anthropophagus, but a lot. It's got all of the sort of silliness that Anthropophagus had, and it's quite an enjoyable movie. So that's number 19. Number 18, A Bay of Blood, Mario Bava. It's classic giallo, huge influence on slasher movies. Lots of great gore in this one. Yeah, who doesn't love A Bay of Blood, also known as Twitch of the Death Nerve and Bloodbath. So yeah, that's number 18. Number 17, Anthropophagus. Yeah, this is Joe D'Amato's masterpiece with George Eastman in the, well, I say lead role. He plays the main villain. Pardon me. And yeah, this is crazy, man. So many great gore scenes, far too many to mention altogether. Lots of them very disgusting. This film's got a great atmosphere. It's a little bit slow, but the atmosphere is great and the gore is great. So yeah, Anthropophagus is number 17. Number 16, House by the Cemetery. Yeah, Lucio Fulci movie. I really like Lucio Fulci a lot. All three of his movies on the DPP list are really good. House by the Cemetery is no exception. Kind of zombie / Frankenstein's monster type thing. Some really good gore, good atmosphere, all the stuff you've come to expect from Fulci. It's kind of abstract in a way, but I really like it. House by the Cemetery is very cool. So yeah, that's number, what is it? Number 16. Number 16. Number 15. The Driller Killer. This is an underrated movie. It gets overlooked. A lot of people expect it to be just another sort of slasher movie, but it's not. It's more than that. It's a more of a social drama with elements of it's kind of a psychological horror, and obviously there's loads of gore in it as well. Really entertaining movie, really well directed. If you want something a little bit more artful out of your video nasty, I would recommend Driller Killer. So at number 15, it's Driller Killer. At number 14, Evil Speak. Now, I've just got the disc here because I've got this as part of Box of the Band 2 is the only way I've got Evil Speak. But this is a really entertaining movie. If you're into Carrie and that sort of thing, then I would really recommend this. This is basically about a bullied kid who starts planning his revenge. It's kind of a mix of gore movie and sort of 80s sci-fi and like 70s sort of satanic horror. So if you're into that sort of thing, then Evil Speak I would definitely recommend. At number 13, Inferno by Dario Argento, one of his 2 films on the list. This one's pretty cool. It's kind of confusing, but visually speaking, it's a really enjoyable watch. The music is by Rick Wakeman and is really cool. I definitely recommend checking out the soundtrack if nothing else. This is the spiritual sequel, if you will, to Suspiria. So if you like Suspiria, then Inferno is the natural next step. So yeah, that number 13, Inferno. At number 12, I Spit on Your Grave, the most well-known rape and revenge movie of all time, and one of the most brutal. Not for the faint-hearted, but really kind of an achievement in how intense and far a movie can go. There's a really strong reaction to this movie whenever you see it. So Yeah, I Spit on Your Grave. I know it's not a lot of people's cup of tea, but I think it's good enough to be the 12th best film on the Video Nasties list. So yeah, and what just missed out on the top spot? Let's have a look. At 11 is Dead and Buried. This is from the writers of Alien, Dan O'Bannon and what's his name? Ronald Shusett, yeah. Dan O'Bannon and Ronald Shusett, who wrote Alien. This is a zombie film, but not as you know it. It's got quite a sort of Twilight Zone type feel. I'd definitely recommend checking out. Not that gory, but the gore scenes that are there are quite interesting. So if you're into zombie movies and you want something totally different, check out Dead and Buried. That's a very cool movie. Okay, so it's time to take a look at the best of the best. And at number 10... Cannibal Apocalypse, Antonio Margheriti's action horror Vietnam vet PTSD / cannibal zombie infection type movie thing. This is a crazy movie. It's kind of slow to start with, but once it gets going, it's really entertaining. The gore is superb. The story is really interesting. It's acted really well. Yeah, I'd totally recommend Cannibal Apocalypse. Cool film. So at number 9. Fight for Your Life. This was the big surprise on the list for me. This is one of the movies that I got that I wasn't really expecting much from, but then I really, really enjoyed. Fight for Your Life is a kind of blaxploitation revenge movie about this black family who their house gets invaded by this gang of escaped convicts. And they kind of put the family through hell, and the family eventually decide to try and overthrow the people who are making them prisoners in their own home. Really graphic movie, quite disturbing in places. So yeah, Fight for Your Life is at number 9. At number 8, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, the Georges Grau Spanish zombie movie set in northern England. It's The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, it's also known as. This is a really great pre-Dawn of the Dead zombie movie. This is 1974, I think it was. The gore's great. Really awesome story. One of my favourite zombie movies, actually. So yeah, at number 8, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie. At number 7, Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. One of the sleaziest, most disreputable films on the list. This is supremely gory, incredibly downbeat, incredibly depressing. If you like your slashers really mean-spirited and cynical, then check out Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. It is totally, that title really tells you all you need to know, dude. So yeah, I would recommend Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. That's number 7, is it? Yeah, 7. So number 6... Last House on the Left. Wes Craven's debut feature. Not a very well made film, technically speaking, but it's damn it is an effective one. I've got to say. There's really nothing that you could change about Last House on the Left to make it any more or less disturbing. It's totally. It's definitely my favourite sort of revenge movie in that sort of category of things. But yeah, no, I think Last House on the Left's fantastic. It's well worth seeing, so check that one out if you haven't already. Number 5 now is The Beyond, Lucio Fulci's 1980 or 81, I can't quite remember, classic movie. This is kind of like a haunted house movie with some zombies thrown in for good measure. If you haven't seen The Beyond already, I'd definitely suggest checking it out. It's kind of got a bit of a weird story. There's some stuff going on that doesn't really make any sense, but overall, the sort of the zombie action is so good and the atmosphere is so good that stuff kind of gets pushed to the back of your mind. So I would definitely recommend that you check out The Beyond if you get the chance. Number 4. Tenebrae, Dario Argento's giallo slasher type deal. I really love this movie. Lots of great gore in it, particularly the famous scene where the chick gets her hand cut off with the axe and all her blood spraying up a white wall. It's one of the most vivid scenes in the movie. I'll definitely suggest checking out Tenebrae if you haven't already. This is obviously one of the better known films on the list. But yeah, no, great movie. I think Tenebrae is one of Dario Argento's best, one of my favourites he did anyway. So yeah, number 4 is Tenebrae. Number 3, Zombie Flesh Eaters. How could it not be high up on the list? Yeah, awesome. One of my favourite zombie movies. Lucio Fulci's he did 4 zombie movies in total. This is my favourite of the 4. And yeah, no, this is like I say, the purest zombie movie he did. I would totally recommend checking out Zombie Flesh Eaters. There's so much great gore in this movie, some really famous scenes. Yeah, lots of fun, good stuff. Zombie Flesh Eaters. At number 2, The Evil Dead. Only the first movie was on the list. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness were not, contrary to popular belief. The Evil Dead was the only one that was on the list, and is it the best in the franchise? Possibly, I'm not sure. I really feel like I should get a better version of The Evil Dead, just because this is the only one I've got, this sort of cheap budget trilogy edition. But yeah, no, I love the movie, and that's kind of why I want a better version of it. But yeah, The Evil Dead's great, incredible gore. It's really funny as well. So yeah, I am amongst a lot of people who really love The Evil Dead. Great movie. And at number 1, it had to be Cannibal Holocaust. An incredibly disturbing movie. Do not discount this movie's ability to shock and offend. I've seen it in action myself. I showed this movie to a group of friends once, and they absolutely flipped out at it. Yeah, no, this is definitely not one for anyone with a weak stomach. But yeah, I think it's a pretty great movie, a really great piece of filmmaking. I would totally suggest checking out Cannibal Holocaust, provided you're not a bit of a wimp. So yeah, Cannibal Holocaust is my number 1 video nasty. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a link to my podcast Ironcast in the description, as always. You should all go and check it out, because Ironcast is brilliant. Until next time, hopefully I'll get a review up for you in the next couple of days, but I'm not sure. It's kind of a difficult schedule at the moment, but until next time, thanks for watching.